Hello and welcome back again, Power App enthusiasts to the Power App tutorial channel. In our last video, we worked on the review screen. In today's video, we're going to continue with our new inspection screen, conclude the new vehicle screen, go back and finish up on the home screen. And by the end of this video, we should have the parking inspection canvas app requirements completed. All right, but if you're new here, just make sure you hit that subscription button and add the notification bell so you can stay updated when we come up with new videos. And don't forget to hit that like button. If you guys are ready, let's jump right into it. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and jump into our new inspection screen. We've already concluded with the header, so we don't need to touch that. Let's just go straight to the main container. And in our main container, go ahead and click the plus button and insert a form. So once the form is inserted, go ahead and pick parking inspection infos. Okay, so it pulled it in and it gave us 3 columns. I'm going to rename this form inspection. And then let's go ahead and change this to 1 column. Let me zoom in a little so you guys can see what's going on. So we're going to change that to 1 column, and then over here on the field section, let's clean it up a little. So remove some of these, remove a lot of this. All right, so I'm back, and the only thing I left behind was the inspection date time. And then go ahead and click on Add and pull in the parking request info and the vehicle info. And then go ahead and add those in. Then I'm going to do a slight adjustment. So I'm just going to drag vehicle info to the top. So I want vehicle info up top, inspection date time in the middle, and parking requests at the bottom. Once that's done, just go ahead and close this. And at this point, I suggest you hit the save. All right, so now that we have that, let's move on. And we will start editing each of these cards one by one. Let's start with the first one, which is the vehicle info card. So just push on the drop-down menu. And first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to rename this data card. So it's where it's saying data card value 8. We're going to change that to combo vehicle. Okay. And then after that's changed to combo vehicle, let's go ahead. So it's saying find items. I want to go ahead and change that input placeholder to find vehicles. After that, go ahead and select the card itself. Let me zoom in a little so you see what's going on. Go ahead and select the card itself. And then after selecting the card, I want you to go ahead and drag. So drag and drop this. Just drag the side and drag it down a little so we can have some room. This is the effect I'm looking for. Okay, so once you drag that and you have some room, with the card selected, go ahead and click on Insert and insert a button. If it says data card is locked, go ahead and click on Lock and Add. Okay, once that's done, just drag. So just hold it, drag and drop right in the center. And then let's do some editing to this button. So first of all, let's rename the button. Okay, so I'm back, and for the text value, I put create new vehicle, and I just renamed the button create vehicle. Now let's do some adjustments to the width. So just go ahead and select the width. You can find it on the right side or you can find it on the left side. I'm just going to use the left side. And then for this, I'm going to go here. So go to the combo vehicle and grab the width that it's using. And I'm just going to place that same width in here for our button. All right, so that's going to extend it all the way through. That's the effect we want. We're going to come back to add some functionalities to this button like the on select. But before we do that, let's go ahead and jump into the new vehicle screen and then add a form to the new vehicle screen. So go ahead and click on the new vehicle screen, jump into the main container. Let me zoom out so you guys can see where we're at. So we're in the new vehicle screen now. Jump into the main container, and once you have the main container selected, go ahead and click on the plus button, click on the form, and grab the vehicle info. All right. Just like before, I'm gonna change this. Let me zoom in a little so you guys can see what's going on. So it has 3 columns. We're gonna change that to 1 column. And then I'm gonna rename this form vehicle. And then let's do some editing to the fields. So click on the fields. Let's clean this up a little. All right, so I'm back, and this is what we want right here. We want vehicle name, make, model, and I'm gonna add the vehicle image. All right, so one vehicle, make, model, and vehicle image. Now this is optional, obviously, but this is what I want for our form. So once that's done, just go ahead and close that. Let me zoom out so you guys can see what we have right now. So we have the vehicle name. I think it's better if we zoom in. So vehicle name, vehicle make, vehicle model, and vehicle image is what we have for our form. I'm gonna go ahead and fix the footer. So make sure you have the footer selected. And for the footer, we need to put a button that we're gonna use to submit our form. So with the footer selected, go ahead and click insert and grab a button. And I'm gonna go ahead and rename this button. All right, so I named it button submit vehicle, and then for the text value, I just put save vehicle. Let's go ahead and do some more edits. So for the width, go ahead and put, you know what, just put flexible width on. Let's let Power Up do the work for us. So put flexible width on, and I'm gonna adjust the height based on the size of the distance. So go ahead and pick the height. Usually they're hiding on the left side, so I like to use the left or the right, whichever one you want to use. But go ahead and grab the parent.height, and then I'm gonna go ahead and increase the font size. So it's saying save vehicle. That size is way too small. Let's try 24. 24 is fine. The last thing I'm going to do is adjust the height of the template itself. So for the footer templates, let's change this to 50. All right, I'm gonna zoom out a little so we can see what's going on. Yeah, this is the effect I want. I want it to look like this. Let's zoom in some more and do some more edits. All right, with this selected, we are currently on the footer container. So go ahead and pick the submit button again. So pick the submit button. And then for the on selects, let's go ahead and submit our form. And the name of our form is the form vehicle. And that's all we need for the on select part of the button. After you finish that, you can go ahead and select the form itself. And then let's go straight to on success. All right, so this is going to be the code we're going to be putting in for our on success. So we're going to set a new variable called new vehicle, and then we're going to use the form that we just submitted, the values for that form to put into that new variable. And then we're going to create a new request for this new vehicle, since the new vehicle doesn't have a request. Remember, this is a vehicle that the inspector just found on the lot. Nobody has actually placed any request on this vehicle. So we have to actually create a request for this new vehicle. That's what this does right here. So it's going to create a new request based on the vehicle info, and then go ahead and set up the parking request date time to the current date time right now, which is to carry the whole date plus the timestamp. And then finally, we're going to refresh the parking inspection infos, reset our form, and then do some notifications and navigate to the home screen. So this is what we're going to put in our on success. Once we put that in there, let's go ahead and modify the on failure. And this is what we're going to put on the on failure, just a short notify if the form has an error. And the last thing we need to modify on our form vehicle form is to make sure that the default mode, we need to set this default mode to new. And with that, we're actually done setting up our vehicle screen. Go ahead and hit save. And once that's done, let's jump back into our new inspection screen again. And now that we're back to our new inspection screen and we've already created our form, let's go ahead and update this button. So go ahead and update the button from the on select. Let's change this to, so just go ahead and paste this code in here for the on select. So what this does is that we're going to create a new form which lives in a new vehicle, and then we'll navigate to the new vehicle screen. Simple and straight. All right, and with that, we've actually set up our button navigation inside our vehicle infos card. You can go ahead and hit save. So now we're connected to both screens. All right, let's move on to the next card. And the next card is going to be our inspection date time card. Go ahead and select the card. And just like we did with the vehicle, um, Let me zoom in a little so you can see what's going on. Just like we did with the vehicle, I want you to go ahead and drag the side down so we can get some room to put some stuff in there. And after dragging it down, let's go ahead and rename. I want to rename this data card. So it said data date value. I'm going to rename that. All right, I renamed it DTP inspection dates. And while we're here, let's just go ahead and remove this guy right here. So the ones that say 00, just go ahead and click on it and then click visibility, toggle it off. Do the same thing to the other zeros. Let's toggle the visibility off. And then finally, the two dots in there, just click on it and then turn the visibility to off. And then finally, let's go back to our data value card. So for this data value card, let's go ahead and first of all, I want to change the select dates. It's saying parent or default. We're going to change that to today, or you can't change it yet. You have to unlock the card. So make sure you unlock the card. And then let's go ahead and change the dates. I'm going to change it to today in parentheses. That's fine as it is. And then if you look to the right, it's not going all the way to the end. So we're going to change that. So just with that selected, go ahead and pick the width and just go ahead and remove the extra baggages and it should expand all the way through. That's the effect we want. All right. Once that's done, I want you to go ahead and select the entire card itself. So the entire data card. Once you're done selecting it, go ahead and insert. So click on insert. And we're going to be adding a combo box next. So drag the combo box down to the bottom. And I'm going to duplicate this combo box. So just copy with Control C and paste. And let's drag this guy to the right. So we have two combo boxes. Let me go ahead and rename these combo boxes. Okay, so I'm back and I named the first one DLP hour and the second one DLP minutes. For the first one is named DLP hour, make sure you have it selected. And then for the default selected items, we're going to put in this code right here. That's for the hour. And then do the same thing for the minutes. So the one on the right is going to be for DLP minutes. Just click on it to select it. Go to default selected items. And this time around, we're going to be putting the minute version. And this is the minute version. So just replace hour with minutes. Once you're done putting that in for both hour and minutes, go ahead and jump into the items. So right now the items are saying item 1, item 2, item 3. Just remove all that. And we're going to replace it with these values right here. So this is what we're going to use to replace the items. And then do the same thing for the item in the hour. So go here, go straight to the items value, remove all this guy, and we're going to be replacing it with these values. And we're actually done with the inspection datetime card. So let me zoom out a little so you guys can see what we should have. So we should have both cards. Let's zoom in some more. All right, so that's for our inspection datetime card. We're done with that, and we're done with our vehicle card. Let's move on to the third card, the parking request info card. I suggest you go ahead and hit save. And once it's done saving, you can go ahead and hit advanced and unlock the card. Let's expand the card a little. All right, so I renamed it combo parking request. So we're changing the ComboBox data card for our parking request to combo parking request. And then go ahead and change the item. So right now it's pulling down all the parking request info for parking inspections. We don't want that. So I'm going to change this. This is going to be the formula we're going to use in the item for our combo parking request. So for item, just put filter parking request info parking request view. It's going to use the active parking request. If you remember, we actually created this when we were doing our model-driven app. So this is why we created that so we can use it in here. Once you're done with that, let's go ahead and modify. So go ahead and pick the default selected items for our combo box, the combo parking request. And we're going to change that parent.default. So put in this new code. All right, so this is going to be the formula we're going to be putting in our default selected items. And all it's doing is basically checking if it's a new request from the vehicle screen. So if this is a new request, it's gonna create a new form based on that new request and filter it and then display it. Or if it's an old request, it's just gonna filter it and display it. That's what this code does. Right? So once that's done, let's see what we have so far. Right now it's saying find items. I don't like it saying find items, so I'm just gonna change this to request IDs. And then once that's done, go ahead and click on the card itself and extend it down a little, just like we did for the other ones. And after extending it down, we're gonna go ahead and insert. This time we're inserting two text labels. So just drag the first one, drop on the bottom. I'm gonna increase the width a little to about 150. And then copy that, so Control C and Control V to duplicate that and just push it to the side. Now for the first one, just click on it and put in this code. This is gonna be the code we're gonna be using. So it's gonna be combo parking request dot selected dot vehicle info dot vehicle name. So whichever parking request ID we have, we're going to have the respective vehicle name show up here. Okay, and then for the second one, for the text value, just put in this code too. So it's going to do the same thing, but this time around, we're going to be showcasing the parking request datetime for whichever ID we get. That's what this code does. All right. Now, before we move on, this card is supposed to be only in display mode. It shouldn't be able to be edited. So I'm going to change this. So make sure you have the entire card selected, and then change the display mode from parent dis parent.display. You can change that to display.view. Okay, so that will make that only a display and not clickable. And then let's see what it looks like right now. Zoom in some more. All right, so our vehicle card, we have our parking inspection, and we have our inspection daytime card all set. Let's go ahead and finish up the footer. So for the footer, we need two buttons in the footer. We need a button to go back, and we need a button to submit our form. So just go ahead and click the plus and go ahead and add a button. And I'm going to rename this button. All right, so the first button, I named it button back, and I just gave it BACK. For the height, we're going to make the height parents to height. I'm going to leave the width at 150. I think 150 is enough for it. And then for the unselect, let's change that to say back, BACK. And you can add a transition, whichever transition you feel like adding. So that's for the back button. I'm gonna go ahead and duplicate this guy. So just copy, Control C and Control V to duplicate it, and rename this button submit. Button submit inspect is what I'm gonna name it. For this guy, we're going to change the text value to submit. Definitely going to increase the font size, but let's go ahead and do some more modifications. So for flexible width for this one, I'm going to put the toggle it on, so it will take up the entire space. And then for the font size, let's make this guy 24. Let's increase the font size for back button to 24 is fine. I want to adjust the entire height of our footer. Right now it's saying 55. Let's make that 45. And then back button is saying back and screen transition. Our submit button definitely should be saying back and transition. So for our submit button in our inspection screen, we're not just going to submit the form directly. We have to do some cleanup, because if you see some of these data values, they're not really cleaned up for Power App. So we're going to do a little bit of cleanup. So in our submit code, put this in. So it's going to set var inspect datetime. So we're going to create a variable called inspect datetime. That variable is going to go ahead and drag the date values. So as you can see, they're all highlighted. So it's grabbing these date values and formatting it in the right way for Power Apps. After formatting it in the right way, the second thing we're going to do is we're going to check if this request is a request that comes with a new vehicle request, or if this is a request that comes with a request that's already been set up by the user in our model-driven app. So we're going to check for those two requests. Whichever request that is coming in is what it's going to use to decide how to submit the form. And then finally, once you submit the form, the next thing we have to do once you fix the submit is I want you to select the form itself, because after you submit the form, there's going to be an unsuccess. So select the form itself and then click, let's look for unsuccess. And our unsuccess, we're going to put in this code right here. All right, so this is going to be the code we're going to be putting in our unsuccess. Is just a notification if the inspection went correct. Then we're going to refresh our parking inspection info table and then reset the form, create a new form using parking inspection. Then we're going to reset our variable. So the variable we use for our vehicle. And then finally, we're going to navigate to the review screen using screen transition cover or fade, whichever one you decide. So that's for the on success. For the on failure, this is the code we're going to be using for the on failure. Similar to the vehicle, we're just checking if the form inspection has an error or if it doesn't. And with that, we are actually done with our parking inspection info. There's one more thing we do need to clean up on. So if you go to the home screen right now, let me zoom in a little. Right now, our new inspection screen, all we do is just navigate to the new inspection screen. We need to be able to create a new form before we navigate. So just push that down, push the navigation down, and then click on new form and grab our form inspection. Close it and then put uh column, right, semicolon right next to it. So this is going to be our the first thing it's going to do is it's going to create a new form before we navigate to the new inspection screen. Go ahead and hit save and publish. And you can go ahead and make this version 2. All right, so at this point, we are ready for our demo. Right on point, we're actually on the home screen, which is where we'll demo from. So I'm just going to hit play. And an inspector comes in and they open their Power App and they say, oh, let's see what we've done so far. And they click on the review screen and they see the review screen and they're like, cool, 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 cool. And then they hit back to go back to the home screen and he's like, okay, it's time for me to do a new inspection. So he comes back and then clicks on new inspection screen. And it takes him to the new inspection screen. And he's like, oh, I see a vehicle. Let me see if it has a request. So he clicks on the drop down menu and the first vehicle he sees is ABC123X and he clicks on it and it shows him the vehicle info, which is ABC123X, shows the parking request info, shows the date that the request came in, and then he says, okay, fine, that looks good. Let's hit submit to submit this. And he submits the new and the new request in ABC123 526, and it came in at 442. Awesome. So that worked for completing. And then he says, okay, he goes back and he's like, he's walking down and he sees a vehicle that he's never seen before. So, okay, I haven't seen this vehicle, so obviously there is no request. So I need to create a new vehicle. So he says, he comes to the screen and then he clicks on create new vehicle. And he switches him to the new vehicle and then he puts the data for the new vehicle. All right, so he comes in and he puts in the vehicle name, make, model, which is FRE889S, Solano and Vespa. Decides not to put in an image and just clicks Save Vehicle. And it saves and takes him to the home screen. It's like, okay, now I need to inspect this vehicle. So he comes back into the new inspection screen. And luckily for him, once he comes in, it actually tells him, okay, look at, you've picked, there is a vehicle that you just registered that needs to be inspected. So all he has to do is just come down here and find the particular vehicle, which is the FR889S. So once he finds the vehicle he's looking for, he picks it out of the info. He just comes in here. Everything is all set for him. All he has to do is just click submit. And once he clicks submit, it submits the new inspection inside our review screen. But this inspection actually comes with an invalid parking icon. That's because it didn't come with an owner email. And with that, we've actually concluded our demo and Canvas app requirements. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll see you on the next one. Thank you and goodbye.